Nigeria's built industry has had its own share following the free fall of dollars, energy costs among others. While the cost of building materials continues to soar, it has left many stranded. In this report, correspondent John Felix examines how the high cost of building materials is affecting the built industry. The report.
The rising cost of building materials in Nigeria is increasingly eating the construction industry hard, with fears that a large number of projects could be put on hold as developers are now on the edge about what to do. While households are contending with soaring food prices and energy costs, and added to it now is the soaring building materials prices, which have doubled in the last 12 months on the heels of surging inflation. With the continuous rise in FX and the state of the economy, what becomes the fate of local production? How bad has it become from the Realtors' perspective?
The country economy is actually in a very, very terrible situation, and we believe we have no choice than to continue to adjust and readjust, to suit what the economy dictates. It is very, very unfortunate that the high foreign exchange and the low liquidity in circulation and always, it's now making most real estate entrepreneur to look like a fraud. When you look at the housing deficit in the country, about almost 3 to 4 years ago, it used to be about 20 million behind, and now I'm very sure that we'll be looking at almost 30 to 35 million housing deficits in Nigeria. And it's make things more difficult because there are no houses for people to live, and the population keeps on growing on a daily basis. At the end of the day, the populace will be the one receiving at the receiving end.
If you look at it, that when the price of this will go up, it affects local production, and that's what affects the cement and the rest of that. And to now put add salt on the injury, the forex go up, the price of dollar go up, so everything increase in a progression that is alarming. Right now, people still buy a bag of cement at the price of over 10,000, and a liter of diesel now over 1,500 per. We see that local production is dead, and at the same time, the cost of living is going up, price of goods and commodities. The challenges we're now having is this: how do we cope? What is the purpose of governance? What is the purpose of democracy? We say democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The most important that governance is all about the people, and it's all about the livelihood of the people. How can people survive? We that were in the real estate sector, if you look at a lot of real estate sector now, no longer build again for people to buy because of the fluctuation in prices.
While it is often said that any price of commodity that goes up in Nigeria hardly comes down, what then is the fate of those in the built industry? Can Nigerians have access to affordable housing anymore? What steps can government take towards addressing the challenge?
Number one, we should be able to balance the earning capacity of the people. The first thing is to increase workers' salary. That's one. Number two, the private sector. Mr. President should be able to come out. Each of the private sector, real estate, civil engineering, construction, production, everything, should be able to say, out of the tax or the money be getting from the subsidy, how do we localize it that will reach to the people so that the private sector can have access to free interest loan? Like any loan that is going to go into production, is going to generate employment, it's going to improve the standard of living of the people, and it's going to contribute to the infrastructure and development of the people. Mr. President must be ready now, at this point in time, to give private sector, which is the engine room of development, access to loan like a free interest loan, so that actually the economy can be very robust. If we're taking money from the people, we must be able to circulate money back to the people. That's the only way that can solve the problem.
So we have to, the government still have to look inward or inwardly to bring about real developers. When I talk about real developers, those are of like minds, that are of integrity. They need to empower them. Maybe through the Federal Mortgage Bank, you understand. By the time they make this thing, that can work very well. By the time they make it work, we have more houses. And once there are more houses, automatically brings down the cost of accommodation. So the president just have to keep his eyes on the ball. Most of the things are meant to be done by him alone. He cannot delegate such things. And if he wants to delegate, he must look for people with high integrity, not someone that is recommended by political friends or for, you understand, somebody that holistically you do your research and you realize that these people are people of integrity, with track record, with vision, convinced by what they have done. The business of turning 100 to 2,000, 3,000, 1 million is an inborn thing. It's an inborn thing. It's not what you can learn in the school. There's a limit to what you can learn in school. The business of being someone of integrity is not something you can really learn in school. It's an inborn thing. So the president needs to look for those people of great integrity and character, and give them the roadmap. This is what I want you to achieve. The vice of the ministry bottleneck, bureaucratic bottlenecks, because some of these bureaucratic bottlenecks are created, just to hinder productivity and create a means at which bribery and corruption can thrive.
As the price of building materials continue to soar, key players in the built industry will have to redouble efforts towards ensuring sharp practices are avoided. From Abeokuta, the State capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.